Welcome to Tech Startup Stories, hosted by Natalie Binns. This is the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the B2B startup world.
Hi, I'm Natalie Binns, and after many years as a marketing leader in the B2B SaaS industry, I set up Hey Gabby to support startups and scale-ups with their go-to-market and growth needs. I work with so many great founders, and that's led me to want to hear their stories and share them with others. And that's why I set up this podcast. So let's get into this week's podcast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's podcast. This week, I have the pleasure of speaking with Richa from GoodBreach. She is the founder and CEO. Welcome to the show, Richa.
Thank you for having me, Natalie.
I have been really excited about speaking to you, and I know we've had a few challenges trying to find a time on your busy schedule. Normally on this show, I get to speak with people that are, B2B founders. And I think what's really interesting about you is that you're from a B2B background and you're building tech that is serving the public, but you also have engagement with other businesses in order to facilitate this. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit more about what GoodBreach is all about?
Sure. So, in very short, GoodBreach is a behavioral saving app, specially designed for young adults that helps them reduce impulse spending and redirect that money into their goal-aligned savings. So let me paint you a picture. We all know that moment at 11 p.m. when we are bored, and 20 minutes later we end up spending on stuff we didn't want it, and after a week we even forget what we get. GoodBreach is built for that moment. We start by asking you a very simple question. What are you saving for? A trip, a new laptop, or maybe a safety net, something that you really want, and that becomes your goal. We then analyze your spending patterns and see what are the impulse categories that are slowly draining your wallet. We spot the pattern and nudge you at the right moment towards your goals. And that's how we try to build your savings towards your financial goals. Think of it as a financial savvy friend, which is helping you save more towards your goals, a goal which was an year away, but now with GoodBreach, it's less than a month away.
Wow. I think what's really interesting is that with I think I'm trying to rack my brains as to any of the female founders or co-founders that we've had on the show that have not built their business around making the world a better place and helping people. When I think back to Rachel Curtis, Savannah Price, so many of the ladies that we've had on this show, they're trying to make the world a better place. Whether it's through helping individuals solve a particular problem or creating something environmental or making lives better through a B2B engagement. And this is really interesting. What was the inspiration for your idea?
It all started at home. It all started actually with my younger sister. She was going to university and then recently started working, right? She was an early career professional, earning decently well, but never had enough to save for a trip she really wanted. A MacBook Pro she was trying to get for last 2 years and always ended up asking for money. One day I just sat with her and just looked at her transactions, where her money is going, and the pattern was really, really obvious, late time spending, a lot of takeaways, coffees, and that was around £300 in a month, roughly £300, right? And so I did more research around this and saw that in the UK itself, young adults are losing around £1,500 a year just on impulse spending, which is roughly 42 impulse purchases a year. That could have been their trip, maybe a MacBook Pro or an emergency fund for them. So that's what we are trying to do. We are rewiring that movement between now the purchase and your goal.
Amazing. And where did the name come from? I'll be honest, when I first saw the name, I thought, oh, are they a cybersecurity company? So tell me where the name came from.
So there's a story behind it, but I won't go into it. So very, very simple, like good is the intention and breach is the movement. So every time you decide to break your spending habits and save instead, that's good breach.
Right, got it, got it. And I know not only are you, a seasoned sales professional in the tech space. I know you've worked for IBM. I know you've worked for lots of big companies. But you're also a parent, so taking time out for a career break and then building a company, that's a huge thing to take on. What made you take that leap as opposed to going back into corporate employee life?
Mhm. So I started my career as an engineer first, working with TCS developing mobile applications. And I really got interested around the business side of things, where we are actually understanding the business, making products around that. And to pursue my career around understanding more around business side of things, I did my MBA and then started my career in sales. So to answer your question, during my sales career, it was going really well, everything nice, very comfortable job, challenging, all good. I understood that technology alone doesn't change things. It's the behavior, right? And even the most sophisticated systems fail when they are not designed for human behavior. So that's how I always wanted to build something of my own. And that's how I started working on GoodBreach after taking a short maternity break. I wanted
Amazing.
to develop a product that would work around human behavior, that would actually understand that 11 p.m. spending is not a data point, but an emotional movement for somebody living alone or somebody just getting bored, and just redirecting them towards the right thing that works for them.
So you've come from that early stage engineer into a sales role, which they're so different, aren't they? Going from the technical side to the sales side. I mean, you can't get any further apart in a business, really. And then you've kind of gone back in. How did you get started? So you found the problem with your sister, and that was your kind of first use case. How did you then go from the idea to building a company? What were the steps that you took?
Yeah, sure. The one thing that I learned was the world had changed a lot after my maternity break. 2024, and I started in 2024, and I just started thinking about it. A lot of LLM tools, Chat GPT, and the world was working very, very differently, right? The idea I had in mind, I could actually conceptualize it, see what I had in mind. I could actually build the UI, how the work, how it will flow, right? So I started working with these LLMs at first, just to get an idea what I'm trying to build. And then I started doing more of user research. What are the pain points around this? What is the need of a saving app? Are they using anything? I interviewed around 300 students, early career professionals, and very recently women as well in total. I asked them questions around what are they using for savings, why is it a struggle for them, if there is a tool which can help them towards saving more towards their goals, will that help? And yeah, so by basically understanding more around users, what is the problem and where are they struggling, and building a product around their need. Then after that, I hired a few developers, and it was really challenging getting the right sort of developers who would listen to you and develop what you really need. So yes, I hired a few developers, and I worked with them to build the product. Then the second thing is that I really struggle with is the regulations. Still struggling with it. It's a fintech product, right? So regulatory wise, it should be in place. So I spent around month or so in finding my open banking partner first, because banking infrastructure is very, very expensive. So getting a right sort of partner is very important. Yeah, luckily we found a right partner for us, and gone through integrations and everything, build the product now. So now we have the MVP ready with us, and great. We tested it in market. We started the testing in December, with a very closed group of users and got the feedback. Again, iterated around UI, around the problem segment. So initially, I started with as a social saving app, like where a group of friends can start saving together. And then I realized that uh, we are doing too much at once, right? So I started cutting down things and started testing one thing at a time. So in March, we started with nudges just to see how it works. Very, very short cohort of users, and got a really good feedback around how nudges are acting on time and letting them save, not acting as the something like feel like notifications which are disturbing them, but a real intercept that really cares about them in the moment and drives their money towards the goal. Now, the journey is more towards getting FCA AIS approval first and then do the further testing. So my focus is now more on FCA AIS, and then again get into the market, test if this product can actually change the behavior around savings, and then go to more users with more feedback, better product.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a journey, and you've not picked an easy industry to be in, really, with all the the regulations and the compliant elements to this, but it's definitely solving a problem. I know there's other products out there that do similar things, but not in the same way. I think Moneybox is one of the examples of an app that kind of does a bit of gamification. How do you guys differentiate what you're doing, or how will you do that as you move forward?
So one thing that differentiates us is all of the banks and saving apps, they are acting reactively. Once you have made the spend, then they tell you like these are the spends that have been made that can be avoided. What we are trying to build is a pre-transaction intercept layer, helping you divert that money that you're most likely to spend onto your savings. So that's one. Second is I would say more around a target segment. So I have realized the target segment is around early career professional who are getting into the habit of saving money, and then more women who end up buying things on the credit cards, BNPL, a lot of BNPL users. So in my target segment, 87% are BNPL, they're already on debt. And there are a lot of regulations that are coming in for BNPL. So yeah,
Interesting.
So these are the problems that we are trying to address for now, apart compared to other financial products in the market.
Got it. And so, you mentioned that you had, the challenges to go through, finding the right developers. You had spent quite a lot of time doing your research, gathering user information, going on the LLMs and designing what you were looking to do.
Mm-hmm.
When you were kind of bringing in these developers, what was your process to make sure that they were the right people to partner with you and to support you in building your MVP?
I realized that quite later. Earlier, my perception was I have the idea, I get the right skills, and the things are done. But it didn't work that way, right? It's not just the skills; it's the developer or whosoever is working with you. They should buy in your vision. They should understand what you're building on, and they should be with you on that journey. That I understood a bit later, and the process around hiring was more to do with first the skills, understanding what they think about the product and how they can actually make it better. So these two things combined I used to, and then nearly the timeline, the sort of availability they have, like some are working part-time, some are working full-time, some are taking it as a project. So understanding their availability and the timeline, when would they be able to deliver? And then, yes, meeting them every day, understanding what they have done, are there challenges, helping them to go through their challenges, resolve those challenges by some means. Yeah, so like working as a team, not even if they are facing challenges, then helping them resolve those challenges, understanding what is it that they're going through and how I can help them. So it's been both ways, because it is something that we are trying to research and build something new. The category doesn't already exist. Yeah. And what also I understood, like, the wider vision is to sell it as an institutional layer, right? So that sort of background is always important, like somebody who has worked in enterprise segment. So I usually value that experience as well.
Interesting. So you kind of, your wider vision, what does that look like?
So what we are doing is we are precisely building Save Now, Buy Later wallets. How it works is, and on your retailer checkout section, you see Pay Now, you see BNPL, and the third thing is SNBL, Save Now, Buy Later. So wider vision is to develop that intelligent wallets that will work with the consumers, help them save for say high ticket items, MacBook Pro, then booking.com, an yearly holiday, something where retailers experience around, in current situation, especially on high ticket items, retailers experience around 76 to 80% of cart abandonment rate. So to resolve that thing, that is one thing. Second is because we are training our ML models on this. So we are training ML models on how the user responds to intercepts, right? Every time user decides to save than to spend, uh, their score keeps on increasing. So there's a saving consistent behavior that we try to detect and will try to build. And that layer can get integrated with banks in the future, helping wider consumer segment at scale.
That makes sense. And with that, you know, obviously your team that you're managing, you're project managing them, you're looking at this FCA stuff. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of plates spinning. How do you maintain a strategic mindset of the journey that you're going on whilst being sort of in the weeds doing all those things? Do you have advisors, people that you can call on to support you?
Yes. Fortunately, I have a very good advisor who has a fintech background, who has worked on banking architectural frameworks, who understands this, and most importantly, he understands what I'm building. He really thinks it's a problem, and a lot of things can be done around that, and this product can really help make an impact. Not just an impact, it can also make a business, a profitable business. So yes, I have a very good advisor, and also have my ex-IBM colleagues who has sold to universities, who has sold to banks. So they have been on the advising panel. And I also found an advisor through my startup network. So I've been talking to him since last 1 year. A great guy, and who can help me with operations and real insights around what it takes to build a startup, to get funding.
And is that your goal? Are you trying to get some funding?
Yes, ultimately, because firstly, banking infrastructure compliance is really, really expensive. I won't be able to bootstrap it for a long time. So yes, I haven't started my funding journey yet, but I'll be starting it soon. This is one thing I have noticed. When I talk to other fintech founders, they did go for funding first and then build a product. Yeah, that was one thing. I have been more into getting a perfect product out in the market, but maybe it's to do with first time on the founder journey, and yeah, I'm learning things. I'm learning things on my way. But building the product has also been a journey, because you're understanding your users, you're getting something out in the market which is really a problem, which has got users feedback, and the product and the problem is getting refined on its way.
Amazing. And so, you know, obviously the funding journey, that's a challenge in itself. I presume you're going to start that journey after you've kind of dealt with your FCA challenges, and your product is ready.
My product is, I would say the MVP is ready for now. And FCA journey, we are nearly there. 80% of our compliances have been done. So that will go on in parallel. I'll start my funding journey very, very soon now. I need to shortlist who all are my potential investors, and yes, to see like if I can get really good angel investors coming from banking background, from building a product that goes from consumer to institutional. So yeah, the first preference would be really to get angel investors who come with this sort of background and can also.
Brilliant. And, I mean, we've talked about fundraising on this show many times and the challenges that faces. What is important to you in finding the investors for the business? You've mentioned the industry expertise, but what else is really important to you in finding the right people to support your business journey?
One thing, as I said, they should really think it as a problem, that they should buy in the vision. That's more important. Second, expertise. And third is the amount of time that they are giving on it. Building it with me. I won't say like building it with me, sorry, but giving the right sort of time of like weekly, monthly, advising it at every stage, giving access to their network. And then that's what I can think of. I really need to think about it more.
Well, you don't have all the answers straight away because you're on the journey. So part of that is figuring it out as you go along, I guess.
Yeah.
So coming from a sales background, the next question I have is, how do you plan on getting this in the hands of your target audience?
Right. So the first plan is to go through universities. There I can, I'm also talking to 2 universities at the moment. So the idea is to get this tool in their fresher package and help students reduce the financial stress. So one is universities. Second is getting through some local merchants. So every time they see a user abandoning the cart, they could actually send them an email, why not save with GoodBreach. Then the third would be very obvious, like have it on App Store and do some social media marketing and see how it goes. We actually did some very recently this weekend, we did some street interviews at Oxford Circus. So it was very exciting to see how different age segments are savings, how they're responding to the product. Not product, we didn't tell them, we were just asking about the spending saving patterns. So I think direct to consumers is also a very good way.
And in terms of your revenue, where does that come from? Is it coming from the individual that's using it, or is it coming through the partners that you're working with? How does your business make money?
For us, it's the partners first, the universities, and then the merchants, and then consumers, like asking them for a very nominal fee against what the saving apps today are asking for. Just to understand their spending saving pattern is enough for us. So in terms of revenue model, it would go through the partners.
Got it. So what's been the most difficult part of your founder journey so far?
I think the first one was I was concentrating a lot around getting a right product into the market, and I didn't had a proper coding experience, right? So working with developers was a little bit challenging for me. So that took me some time to understand how it's done, developers where and how they take time. So getting it built was most challenging, I think. And secondly, I can think about like it is challenging, but it's always fun getting to the users, right? Users and just like if I've been uncomfortable in those situations, but getting to the users, requesting them, asking for their feedback, doing surveys regularly. I do it every month. I ask like in my WhatsApp groups and in my accelerator groups. So I keep asking for feedback again and again. And that feedback keeps on changing. So I keep revising things. So that has I wouldn't say challenging, but I'm learning how to pivot from one thing to second, third, till I get the till I get to the actual problem.
And what's been the most surprising? What's been the most enjoyable part of the journey so far?
I think the network. I really met some very cool people. Founder network is amazing. Like people, they want to help each other. Right? They understand the pain, the struggle that you're going through. So, and also, I have been part of this accelerator called Female Founder Rise, and I met some amazing women out there building alone, some solo founders, and being confident, sharing our problems, our pains together. That has been really fun.
That sounds great. It's good to be in a community where you're all going through the same battles.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the plan for the next 5 years? What do you hope to achieve in the next 5 years?
So I would say what I really want to do with the product is to make savings as frictionless as spending is today. Like Apple Pay, buy now, one tap, done. And in the next 5 years, we are hoping to develop that intelligent layer that would know that would help people control their impulse spends very naturally. Saving becomes a default behavior, not a chore anymore. Yes. So just like all over the world, people using GoodBreach to save naturally for what they really want to save for.
And what about the next 12 months? What are the things that you want to kind of achieve in terms of milestones in the next 12 months?
In the next 12 months, my mission is to get at least 2 university partners onboarded, test it with at least 8,000 users, and train our ML model, get FCA clearance. AIS would be okay, but yes, getting access to FC Innovation Box and see what are the live transactions there, how we can work around technology to make it better for users using the app.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I'd love to have you back next year to talk about how things have gone. Will you come back on the show next year?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Natalie, for inviting me, talking about this. I really enjoyed it.
That's it for this episode of Tech Startup Stories. Have a story you'd like us to share or a topic you'd want to cover? Reach out and we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care.